Disappointment. It's a sadness to me because Janelle has shown me no tenderness, no kindness, no empathy while I'm going through the divorce.
I learned very early on in my relationship with Kody, venting my frustrations about a sister wife didn't work.
Well, we're an alcoholic family and we're shoving everything. Kody, it goes beyond that. But you and Robyn are the paragons of honesty and perfection.
Because you're lying about what has happened and what's been going on.
It's wild to me that you think I lie because I think you're manipulating.
Tell me how I'm manipulating. Oh, no. Tell the whole world. Tell the world. And then go hang out with your buddy Christine.
All right, everyone, buckle up. What if I told you the story TLC is selling about the Brown family is completely wrong? They want you to believe this is all about Kody Brown's anger, that his temper is the sole reason his family shattered. But that's just the surface-level drama for ratings. What's really happening is a final, desperate power play. Kody is trying to rewrite history, and the women he left behind are not just walking away, they're systematically dismantling everything he built, and the fallout is going to be brutal. Stay until the end, because the alliance forming to take him down will shock you. So, let's pull back the curtain. As Kody scrambles to control the story and producers likely dream of a dramatic reunion, his ex-wives are utterly uninterested in his script. In fact, it seems like the show's own narrative has officially lost the plot. The proof? Kody's recent apology to Janelle. Let's break down this masterpiece of non-accountability. He said he was sorry for the past, for not protecting her, for not being her safe space. Sounds okay, right? But listen closer. He placed every ounce of blame on their early years, on the difficult dynamic between Meri and Janelle, and heavily implied Meri was the problem. What did he not apologize for? He took zero responsibility for how he brought Janelle into the family in the first place. He showed no remorse for abandoning them for weeks on end while he traveled, leaving his wives to survive on nothing. He built a kingdom, fathered children he knew he couldn't support, and left the mothers in a perpetual state of crisis. His apology was a hollow script, and you could see right through it. This has been the pattern for 15 seasons. We've watched Kody and Robyn position themselves as the royal court, the ultimate authorities. In their world, they were always right, and everyone else, the other wives, the kids, was always somehow wrong, out of line, or too emotional. We heard it from the kids themselves. They saw the separation in Flagstaff. They noticed the distance back in Vegas. The children were asking questions Kody couldn't answer, pointing out the obvious fractures he tried to paint over as family culture. Janelle has even voiced her fear of public perception, the worry that Robyn would be seen as promoted, that she and Kody were forcing a new structure on everyone. And every one of those fears, as we've seen, came true. The core issue with Kody and Robyn is a documented history of manipulation. We saw it when the divorce from Meri was orchestrated. They spun a wild story about it being for the kids' sake and manipulated Meri into publicly claiming it was her idea. Then, they abandoned her after the papers were signed, promising nothing would change when everything changed. We watched them string Meri along for nearly a decade with empty hope, suggesting that if she just tried a little harder, behaved a little better, she could earn back a relationship that Kody had already mentally checked out of. He said he didn't consider himself married to her, that they were like exes living on the same block. We watched him verbally attack Janelle for disrespecting his authority, then turn around and claim he was never the leader, even as Robyn constantly parroted, "Kody is our leader." We watched Robyn consistently undermine the other wives, always taking Kody's side, feeding his ego until he truly believed he was an untouchable patriarch. And through it all, we watched him be an absent father, his relationships with his children feeling staged and superficial. So this apology tour isn't about remorse. It's a strategic attempt to erase 15 years of footage and get ahead of the coming storm. And what's coming next is the part you won't believe. It involves a secret weapon, a shocking betrayal, and a revenge plot that's already in motion.
They saw how things were in our family. They saw how separate we've been in Flagstaff.
But that's the family group. That's the culture, not the individual relationships.
They also saw that Kody and I have been struggling for a long time. The kids were like, it looked like in Vegas that you and Dad weren't really close anymore. And
in Vegas? Okay, that's a lie.
Like, okay.
The perception of the outside world.
I worry. I do.
To hell with them. I do not.
I understand, and I feel
Sorry,
the same.
I'm not going to even.
I feel the same, but I do worry. That's why I don't want anyone to underestimate the sacrifice that Meri's made. I don't want anyone saying Robyn's been
promoted
or whatever. That absolutely, that is my biggest worry.
Or that Kody and Robyn pushed it on me.
Like somehow or another I've abandoned you. You told me to go away.
Kody, you know why.
This is why we need to go talk to Nancy, because I don't know why. I'm not sitting here rehearsing a line or stating a line that I've rehearsed. Being married deserves a midlife crisis right now, because her daughter's left the nest. We deceived each other about what our relationship was. The damage was done so badly that we're not going to reconcile no matter what. And so however we are made accountable to God, I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Meri go and do her thing. Because if I'm angry at her, it becomes a fight. I needed her just to go away because it just took forever for her to finally realize.
So what is Kody so desperately trying to get ahead of? 3 massive threats he can't control. First, and most damning for him within their faith, Janelle is seeking her official spiritual release from the AUB, their fundamentalist church. In this world, losing one wife is a setback. Losing 2, that's a permanent mark of failure. There is no coming back from that in the eyes of their community. Even though he claims he doesn't believe anymore, his and Robyn's language is still soaked in the same cult rhetoric. Their belief is a convenience, a tool. I think his sudden repentance is a last-ditch effort to look reformed before Janelle's release makes him a pariah. Second, Christine's tell-all book. She has stories that could shatter the remaining facade. Kody knows this. We even heard about attempts to use NDAs to silence them all. His apology is a preemptive strike against her narrative. But his performance failed with Janelle. She saw right through it. And this leads us to the most unexpected twist of all. To understand it, you need to see what really happens when these women seek a release. It's not the simple, bureaucratic process it might appear to be on the show. Janelle herself said she didn't think they intended to grant it that day. She had to push, and finally they just said, "You're here, let's do it." Why such a rush? Optics. The release experience for Meri and Janelle, playing out on national TV, is a world away from the reality for women still trapped inside the AUB without a camera crew. This is a massive public relations move for the church. If they denied these famous women their freedom, they'd be exposed as an organization that forces women to stay in abandoned, celibate marriages out of sheer control. They can't have that. Don't be fooled. These releases are almost never granted easily. The current prophet of the AUB, David Watson, has a wife who is suing him for a release after years of asking. They have no relationship, yet he refuses. That's the norm. So why for Meri and Janelle? First, for the PR cover. It makes the church look reasonable. Second, they see Kody as the ultimate embarrassment. They view him as a failure who has brought negative attention to their way of life. Granting the releases severs their public ties to him. They might be like him in many ways, but they hate what he's done. So Janelle walks out, single in the eyes of her faith. And here's where the story finds its incredible, poetic justice. Meri, who got her own release swiftly, becomes the guide. She encourages Janelle, supports her, tells her to just send the text to the leaders. Think about the profound weight of that. After a lifetime in this structure, the act of sending that message is terrifying. Janelle confesses she's nervous, wondering what the leaders think of her after all this time. And this brings me to the heartbreaking core of this whole system. From the outside, it's devastating to watch. These women have been so deeply psychologically and spiritually manipulated that they believe a panel of mortal men holds the keys to their eternal destiny. The doctrine is weaponized against them. They are taught that leaving their celestial covenant means being separated from their faithful loved ones in the afterlife. They're told they won't get to see their own mothers, their families, unless those family members descend from a higher kingdom to visit them in a lower one. It's emotional and spiritual blackmail designed to chain them to misery with the promise of seeing their families again. It is abuse, plain and simple. It's soul-crushing that after a lifetime of this indoctrination, they have to ask permission from a man in an office to be free from a marriage that was never legally binding to begin with. The idea that any human has that power over another's eternity is the foundation of the control. And in the middle of this deeply personal, traumatic process, we get a glimpse of the mundane awkwardness. Janelle, the pragmatist, calls it dumb and not a big deal, while simultaneously acknowledging how intensely personal it is. She hits send. The message is gone. And who does she have by her side? Not Christine, who's moved on to a new marriage. Not a former church leader. She has Meri.
He granted it that day, and I walked out of there single. And it was weird. Call, text, I dare ya. I double dog dare ya today, text. Okay. And just be like, hey, I need to have a conversation with you. And you could even say about terminating my marriage.
I'm actually going to just do it right now.
Do it.
And that right there is the most powerful, unexpected twist in this entire saga. Let that sink in. After everything, after all the years of being pitted against each other as the first two wives, after the public feuds, the cold shoulders, the allegations of mistreatment, after Kody spent his entire apology blaming Meri for the early strife, and after Janelle has openly said for years she has no real relationship with Meri, when it comes to the most crucial, frightening step of her life, leaving the spiritual confines of the cult, Janelle turns to Meri. Isn't that fascinating? Christine, whose family is still in the faith, would know the process. But Janelle goes to the woman who has just walked the path herself. This isn't about gossip or shared resentment. This is a lifeline. So let's ask the real question. For all the things said about Meri, all the ways she's been painted as difficult or the villain, is she a bad person for offering concrete help to someone trying to escape a controlling organization? Is she horrible for using her own painful experience to guide another woman to freedom? Absolutely not. She has been the family scapegoat for years, railroaded by Kody's narrative. And yet, here she is, extending support. I sincerely hope that one day both of these women can fully see that the pain they inflicted on each other was manufactured, a product of the divisive environment Kody created to maintain control. They're healing, and this alliance is his worst nightmare. And that brings us to the imminent, guaranteed consequence, the retaliation. This move doesn't just hurt Kody, it demolishes Robyn's entire identity. She has built her persona on being the pious, eternal, dutiful wife, the queen in Kody's kingdom. She uses her perceived righteousness as a shield against all criticism. But now, the kingdom is in ruins. With Janelle's release, Kody is a confirmed failure in their faith's eyes. Robyn is no longer the queen of a thriving dynasty. She's the last wife standing in a bankrupt monarchy. In their own delusional hierarchy, this makes them less than the other wives. They're failures, and nothing will make Robyn more furious. We already know Kody's playbook. He will not accept this quietly. He will try to shatter this new alliance between Meri and Janelle. He will likely spin a story that Janelle is conspiring against Meri financially, especially over the Coyote Pass land. He will pour poison in every ear, trying to revive old resentments and drive that wedge back between them. He needs them divided and fighting to survive the narrative. His entire apology storyline is about to explode in a firestorm of blame and vengeance. The target is clear, Meri and Janelle. The motive is survival. The method will be chaos. So what do you think? Were you shocked to see Meri and Janelle team up in this ultimate way? Does this feel like a final, powerful act of reclaiming their lives, or just the calm before a retaliatory storm? Let me know every single thought you have down in the comments below. This story is evolving daily, and your perspective is part of it. If you want to make sure you don't miss the moment that retaliation hits, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We will be breaking it all down right here. And if this deep dive into the real stakes helped you see the story differently, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.